Alrighty, we fueled up and happy Easter. I actually got a day that was decent enough to get out and ride. It's in the 50s anyway. It's supposed to be a little warmer later. We'll see how it goes. I don't know how late we're going to be at the wife's parents', so it might be a cold ride back tonight. I hope not. I know my visor keeps fogging up. So Dan, aka Space Pod, posted something up the other day on Facebook about ghosts and stuff like that, and talking about there not being ghosts. And a lot of people believe in ghosts, a lot of people don't believe in ghosts. I always thought there was something out there, and then I had an absolutely life-changing experience that, if you're a doubter, it's kind of like what it's going to take to change your mind. We lived in an apartment, and there would randomly be weird things happen, and we were just like, ha ha ha, we've got a ghost, ha ha ha. Well, then stuff started getting real weird. Like, I was making coffee in the morning and the spoon was sitting on the back of the counter in the kitchen next to the coffee maker, which was pushed up against the wall, and the counter's what, 18 inches deep, 24 inches deep, I don't know, whatever the standard counter size is. I'm the only one there, and the spoon went flying all the way across the kitchen and hit the other wall. I mean, it wasn't like, hey, the spoon fell off. It's like, no, that spoon got thrown with some force, like serious force. So I kind of thought to myself, okay, maybe there is something going on here. That's a little weird. And then the happenings kind of started getting more and more. We would be sitting there watching TV. There'd be, you know, just me and the wife sitting on the couch, and the remote would be sitting on the coffee table. Well, we were on the second floor, and across the room in the corner was the door to the balcony, and we watched the remote with no one around it fly, I don't know, 10 feet across the room and hit that door with nobody around. We stood there and watched. We had a cat named Una at the time, and the cat was rolling around on the floor being petted by something that wasn't there, and you could clearly see that it was a hand moving through the cat's fur. I mean, the cat was physically being touched, and there was nothing there. And I mean, the cat was apparently cool with it, because she just rolled around and enjoyed it, but that was creepy. And it was just constant things, like the TV, like my wife's mom was babysitting and the TV turned on by itself, and she turned the TV off, and then the TV turned on again, and she turned the TV off, and the TV turned on again, and she said, I don't want to watch TV right now, and the TV turned itself off. Now keep in mind, this is back in, God, I don't know, early, mid-2000s. I mean, there was no voice control of the house or anything at that time, and especially with that old TV, because it was just, it wasn't a tube TV, but it was kind of the next step up. So, I mean, it was like a CRT, I guess. I don't know if that's a term or not, but anyway, it was just a big-ass, heavy old TV. So I know that that TV did not have voice control. And I think the one that capped everything off is the wife was at the house, and the apartments were built on it used to be old farmland, and she watched someone that was translucent, basically. I guess you would call it like an apparition. Not Justin. Some of you might not get that joke. But it was basically an apparition. It was solid enough to see, and it was an older man dressed in overalls. He looked like a farmer. I mean, in the plaid red shirt and everything, and he walked from our kitchen, through the kitchen wall, across the hallway, through our washer and dryer, and right through the other wall, with no acknowledgement of anyone being around him or anything else. He just, it's like the world wasn't there. And they talk about, like, you know, if you're into ghosts and stuff like that, they talk about, you know, active hauntings versus residual and things like that. And I mean, it didn't appear to be anything like him. It didn't appear to be anything active. It was just like he was doing his normal routine going through. Ooh, we got a ride out going here. But it was just like he was going through his normal routine of what he always did. Like, that's just where he walked through, was that area of the farmhouse or whatever, or the farmland or whatever was there. So, but yeah, I mean, there was definitely things that were more active, like the stuff flying around. That was definitely not residual. That was something that was definitely, and I would classify, I guess, as an active haunting. But yeah, I mean, so what's your thought on it? Ghost stories, ghosts, yes or no? Believe, don't believe? Why not? Any experiences you've had? I mean, throw them in the comments, or, you know, if you're a vlogger, throw up a reply video, or, you know, whatever you want to call it, and let's hear your opinion on it. But yeah, I'd be curious to hear any experiences you guys have had with stuff like that, or other, you know, weird stuff that's happened. They were talking about Bigfoot and something called red eye, which is one that I had never heard of. Somebody mentioned something about that one. That was a new one on me. You know, I've heard all the ones, you know, chupacabra and all those, but I hadn't heard of red eye. I don't know, maybe that's just another name for something else. But yeah, I mean, especially traveling around like desolate, remote areas in northern Michigan and stuff like that, you just, I mean, there's things that science doesn't really have answers for. I mean, they say sea creatures, we've discovered what, 20% of them on the high side. That, you know, there's all this stuff in the ocean living in these areas that you think would be uninhabitable and stuff like that. But life adapts. I mean, what if Bigfoot is, you know, Chewbacca that's really good at hide and seek? I don't know. I've heard less crazy theories. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that there's species of animals and, you know, stuff out there that we haven't encountered yet and, you know, fully discovered. They're always finding stuff in rainforests and stuff like that. And, you know, if you talk about evolution and, you know, that's your go-to. I'm not going to get into evolution versus creationism and stuff like that. I have my own thoughts on that, but, you know, if there's evolution, who's to say that there's not, you know, a species out there that hasn't evolved as far as we have yet, that's in the process? You know, they talk about finding all these fossils and stuff like that of these, you know, human-like species that are huge, basically giants compared to us. And you know, who's to say that that's not something that's out there and, you know, people are mistaking for Bigfoot or calling Bigfoot or whatever it is. I'm not going to pretend to know it all, but I'm not going to deny it when there's always surprises happening. I mean, I'm sure that, you know, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, God, even think 1,000 years from now, all of the animals and species and everything else that would be discovered that we don't know about right now and couldn't even dream that existed. I mean, and then you get into the whole alien thing, and you know, whether you believe in UFOs or not, I mean, look at the size of the universe. Can you possibly think that one shitty little mud ball that we're on is the only thing that could produce life? I mean, come on. It's a complete scientific improbability. But anyway, with that, I'm gonna get to my destination here and enjoy Easter with the family, and you guys take care, and we'll probably talk to you a little later. I'm sure I'll record on the ride home. We'll see if there's anything worth talking about. So, you guys take care, and we'll see you next time.